Hey, yo, everybody.
Hello.
Our poor Tina is out due to injury of the eye. Laura is still here, though. So, yeah.
You're stuck with me.
Pleasantly stuck. Pleasantly stuck. So, I don't know what my child did to my mouse, but it is drifting now. What did you do? There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm looking for a banner, a specific banner. How was everybody's weekend? That's what I was looking for.
My weekend was glorious. I was part of the Day of Trouble, so I was on screen from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Ooh.
So it was fun. I finished writing a romance short in that stream and got some beta reader feedback and job hunted, and yeah, that's about what I was up to.
I felt so bad because I forgot the Day of Trouble was Saturday. I don't know when I thought it was, but Chris and I had made plans with the children, and then I had made plans with someone else, and I was like, well, I can't leave now. But I'm glad that it went so well.
Yeah.
Glad you had a good time. Hey, yo, everybody. Hi. JC's doing well. Hey, RP. Hey, Kelly and Bella and Jen. I want to read it. Can you send it to me? And I'll read it after I finish these 2 books.
Sure.
My weekend...
It's a short sapphic.
I mean, I'm writing a long sapphic whip, so
nice.
I'm good with it. Weekend was good. Did the Day of Trouble and started a short horror story. Nice.
Woo!
Hey, cool gamer. We did the library day and went out to eat with the kids. We also took them to like the park downtown because we've like started playing Pikmin Bloom, which is really good for motivating me to go walking because you grow your Pikmin if you go walking. And then after you get to a certain level, you can send your Pikmin out to do battle against these giant mushrooms. And I'm like, I must have my army to destroy all the mushrooms. So I still haven't gone out walking every day yet, but I'm getting out more than I did otherwise, which is good. Because with migraines, you kind of get stuck in a cycle of like, I don't physically feel well enough to get out of bed and do things. But also I know that if I just get out and go for a walk, that it can help the migraine a lot. But that would require getting up, and so it's
sometimes raising your head just
it makes it worse. Like you're laying there and you feel fine, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna feel great today. And then you sit up, and the room spins, and your head squishes, and you're like, going back down. But like logically, I know if I complete getting up and go outside and get some like fresh air and a little physical movement, then I'll feel a lot better. But yeah, so the Pikmin Bloom has definitely helped motivate with that because I'm like, okay, I'll go out, I'll get some steps in, maybe I'll grow a Pikmin, and they have cute costumes. Like if you get your friendship to 4 hearts, like I've got some bookstore / library Pikmin that I'm very excited to see become like get their decor, because then they'll have little books, and I want to know what their books are titled. And there's like sushi Pikmin, and I have a plane from when I picked CB up at the airport. I got a little blue Pikmin, and he's in his little plane, and I'm like, oh, this is so fucking cute. But yeah, so we went and we did that, and then we came home, and I binged a series with CB because we had already made plans. So yeah. RP helped his parents move stuff to their new house Saturday, finished my first revision of my draft on Sunday. Nice. How many revisions are you going to do before you move on to your next step? Hey, babe. Hey, y'all. Relatable. I saw that you recently posted like 2 videos with your Chromes?
Crohn's.
Thank you. Your Chrome's update, like getting authorized or reauthorized with insurance. I have to do that in March. I am not looking forward to it. Like I haven't watched your videos yet because I had CB visiting and then I had 8 books that I'm trying to read in January for the Year of Favorites Readathon. Yes, to my child.
Happy to us?
Yes.
Thank you.
But like just by the titles, I'm like, I understand already. And I'm glad that your pre-authorization went through though. That's great. Watched it in extreme sadness as the Lions lost on Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn whoever beat our Lions. Spirit. The weekend was good. FaceTime with my nephew. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. And worked on my Christian short story collection. Ooh, interesting. Hey. Weekend was tiring. I spent a lot of time at our family storage units to close one down. Was successful in getting one closed.
Nice.
Sweet. That's money in the pocket.
Yeah, it is.
Barrett saying hello to people. You're welcome. They do. Oh, and I hate the runaround that you get between like the doctor's office. Well, okay, so I will say my doctor's office, the nurses and the doctor are fine. Whoever like runs the calls though, I gotta call like 8 times to get my answers or what I need. They're a footballer. Yeah, American football. What's everybody going to be working on today?
So I have a few things I can work on. I can keep working on my job applications. I can journal because I am like 2 weeks behind now on my journal. Or
behind? Have we been busy?
Yeah, and just not feeling up to it.
Fair enough.
Or I could read. Or I could beta read.
What would we be reading?
It's a book called Top Secret. Ignore me.
But I just asked you a question. Why would I want to ignore you?
Just making a mess.
Well, while Laura
okay, I found it.
The chaos.
Okay. This one. So
ooh.
It's a romance. So it's
intrigued.
It's 2 guys on a dating app because one guy's girlfriend wants a threesome. And so the guy's like, I guess I better find somebody. And stuff goes down.
Top Secret by who? I don't have enough books on my list right now.
There's 2 authors, Serena Bowen and Ellie Kennedy.
Oh, thank you. You understand my dyslexia well. Okay, cool. Thank you. JC was on a whole other tab and just heard Laura. Fine.
Yeah, I was just making, raspberry ginger ale go everywhere.
The crash of Laura happened right at the same time my dog fell off the bed. It was a mighty crash. Chip in for a salad, and then I am planning to read a bit. Nice. I will be working on the short story. Yes. Chopping because chipping is for trees.
Well, they are plants.
Hey, you, Morgan. I'll be working on my second revision. Not sure how many revisions / edits I'll be doing it. Fair enough. Laura was like, my presence will be felt. A real life horror scene.
I know.
I was going to work on my collection, but now I'm thinking of doing a story to honor a friend of mine who just had a death in her family. Aww. My condolences to your friend. Also added to my TBR, unlike Sam, I actually need more books on me. What are you trying to say, Bella? That I under-exaggerated my current TBR?
The one that I just finished is this one.
Yes, do tell me more.
So I'll read the back of the book for you.
Works for me.
Wanted. One night together, no strings attached. Hold me, make love to me, treat me like I'm the most important person in the world. No talking, no names. And don't be surprised if I'm gone in the morning.
Oh.
After crushing on my best friend for years, I realized he'll never want someone inexperienced like me, so I decided to get it over with. Play the V card once and for all with an anonymous hookup. The terms are simple, no talking, no names. It isn't as easy as it seems. Now I can't get the handsome stranger who greeted me with soft kisses and gentle touches out of my mind. Those hands, those lips, but it was just a one-time thing, and I need to forget about him once and for all. At least I know I won't ever see him again. Until I board a flight and catch sight of a familiar profile in the cockpit just as the door closes. So, yes.
I love when the one night stands run into each other again.
Yeah.
I see that Morgan is, was that the right name? I said, yes, Morgan's working on her third book. Also, because I need to remind of this sometimes. I made a Google Sheet where I am trying to collect as many of the writing community's publishings as I can. So if you have published, whether traditionally or self or hybrid, I don't care. Just put it on there. As long as I can finds it to reads it, I want to do it. And if you have anything that's up and coming, I have a new page for that so that they don't get mixed up, because I personally don't want to go looking for something I think is published and then find out it's up and coming, and I'll be like, oh no. But for up and coming stuff, I want to try to keep a lookout. I'm fumbling. Laura, introduce yourself. And then I'll talk about what I'm working on.
I'm Laura Nettles, and I do have a book out. It is called Tiny Shivers. It is 101 drabbles, flashes, and short stories of a variety of horror genres, including the subsections are cosmic slithers, terrors of the mundane, angels and demons, the seeping supernatural, twisted psychology, shadowy gothic, mutated sci-fi, and of course, holiday food horror. So there are illustrations in there. So it's fun. Not too traumatizing, I don't think, but yeah.
That holiday food horror, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi,
Roy. Yeah, I have 4 contemporary short romances out under my pen name, and the 5th one should be coming out in the second half of February. So it's the one that I finished.
She also has some stories on podcasts and in some like online magazines and stuff. Like, you can check out her website down below or on my sheet where I stole most information from her website to everything linked. There's a shit ton. It's gonna take me a while to catch up on all the lore stuff.
Yeah, I have 30 stories published out there.
Yeah. Several of them are free to read or listen to. So definitely, y'all check out the stuff. And I am writing Mom Smith L. Nassett. I didn't just forget my name. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer parent things. For those who are new here, and maybe even those who might have guessed, I have a migraine that started on Wednesday. I think I'm at the tail end of it, though. It feels like the tail end of it, and whenever that happens, my brain just stops working. It's commonly referred to as like migraine hangover. Either way, we're fun. The brain's processing. The synapses aren't firing. It's all good. I host websites. I host live streams like these on Mondays. In February, I'm hoping to do a Let's Talk on a rom-com or some sort of other romance movie. And the next Flash Fiction Free-for-All is coming up at some point. I've also started doing Whip Wednesdays, which are when I have a 3-hour stream dedicated to working on Save Her Soul and absolutely nothing else, because that's my current whip. It is from 1 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if anybody can make it, the next one is this week because they are every other week. And yeah, you can follow my socials and stuff down there. Sign up to my newsletter at my website. Yoo-hoo!
Oh, Ryan's winding up a storm. Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay, Roy, I feel you. He's just empathizing with me.
Hello.
It's all right. He was trying to distract from my fumbles. Oh, as for what I will be working on today, hosted by Lynn, is a Year of Favorites readathon. I think we were supposed to pick one book in the month. I, however, picked one book from everybody, and there are 8 of us, including that reading my own. I'm rereading my picks, damn it. So far, I've got 6 out of 8 done for my January picks. I've run out of the audiobooks though, so I'll be reading these 2 tonight. This one's my favorite. This is actually the book that, because she wrote it when she was 12, and in the back of the book for the about the author, it says that she wrote it when she was 12, published at 13. I was like, I can do this shit. And this is what led me down the road to being an author. So it's very, very near and dear to me. And I'm enjoying this one. It's just, I do most of my reading when either like late at night, early in the morning, or while I'm doing chores. And I can't read when there's no light in my bedroom. So that's why it's taking me a while. But I'm going to read it tonight. I might also work on my schedule for next month. We'll see. Hello, Roy. Are you good now? Yeah?
He is freshly groomed.
He looks fluffy.
He's so soft.
So why am I the only one who's at the... Yeah, that's right. Why is Kelly the only one? Off topic, I saw on socials that there's a book where the author added a love letter to the reader from their book boyfriend. Not sure what the book is, but now I want to do that to all my books. That's so cute, though. I love that.
Awesome.
Literally said from book boyfriends. That's adorable. Stream hopping to say hello. Well, hello, Regina, and thank you for stopping by.
Sir.
Give Sam money. Yeah, I got a Ko-fi down below. Thank you, RP. All the Roy love and the Regina love. Oh, that's to JC. The JC and Regina love.
What are you sniffing for, my dude?
He was whining for his moment of fame. Yep.
Oh.
Roy baby.
Roy.
My children turned the heater off because they were playing on the computer and it was hot back here. And I'm like, now I'm getting cold. Oh, there's my blanket. I was about to say, but I don't know where I put my computer blanket. It's behind me. See, the problem is the heater's like right here, so this part gets warm first.
You got a mirror.
Oh, yeah, that's my daughter's mirror. That it's technically supposed to go in her room. It's always been there. It's just been flipped the other way. Well, while CB was here, we flipped it this way so she could use it to do her makeup and stuff, and I need to flip it back because I don't like that it faces me. It's like this old superstition that if you leave your mirrors uncovered at night, like ghostesses and things can get through.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I need to, like, I've got mirrors in that corner, they're covered. But this one, I'm like, I need to flip that around. I don't know what kind of things have been getting in my house.
Well, I learned something today about my building. We have squatters in our stairwells. So.
Oh, fun times.
Yes.
Your ghostesses are corporeal.
Yeah, the janitor was complaining about it.
As to the mild shade for my reading list. So currently, this is like my progress on, the January year of favorites. And then here's my February, and there's the March. But also, like I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 audiobooks and one of the ebooks for next month in my Libby. but I'm like, I'm not going to start any of them until February.
Getting close.
I know, but I need to finish these 2. But here's my plan, Laura. Hear me out. Matt, who I was buddy reading the Raven Boys with, has finally started reading book 4 routinely because he's reading it while he does his cardio, right? So I'm like, cool. So while he gets through book 4, I'm going to go reread the first 3 so that I can remember what was happening. And I can do this because I own them. So there's no waiting list. But also, I've already finished my reread of book 1 because I was like, all right, I finished Stardust. I allowed myself to read the Raven Boys book 1. And then I listened to The Ranger's Apprentice between last night and this morning. So I'm like, yes, now I have no more audiobooks. So what am I to do when I do the dishes later? I can't read these while my hands are wet.
Not very well.
No. That's why I'm reading these now.
That's why you have a child turn the page for you.
It's just for one of my children. Just like, all right, I know it's bedtime for you, but stand there like this. I almost dropped my bookmark.
Oh no!
So, hello, Sir Roy and Lady Horror Writers. Yay! That's a little bit of a terrifying. My daughter's building just had squatters removed. They posted notices to not let anyone in, even if they're delivering food. Mm-hmm. Stay safe, yes.
Yeah, we're also down to 1 elevator, so that makes it even better.
Is the other one broken?
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Been broken for days.
That's unfortunate.
And we keep losing our water. Like, they replaced the boiler, but it still goes out all the time.
Your apartment building is struggle busing right now.
It's community housing.
Oh.
So, cheaper, but, you know.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everything gets fixed sooner rather than later. I agree. The Ranger's Apprentice was good. I had never heard about it or read it before the Year of Favorites readathon. So I will. It is now on my. I have a list that series to continue because I'm like, all right, realistically, if I enjoy a book 1, I'm gonna want to continue them, but I'm not gonna be able to like read the whole series while I'm trying to read all the other ones. So my husband is here with my dinner. Yay! All right, so I will probably be eating my dinner and listening to Raven's voice book 2 during the sprint. Because don't want to get the library book greasy.
Hello, my good boy. Hello.
Mr. Roy.
Barrett says hi.
My husband had to pick Riju up because now when he comes home, if he like doesn't pick her up, she just jumps at him until he does. Put a very large knife down to say hi. Oh. Roy was like, I don't know about that knife, Barrett. But we're at almost 25 minutes in, so I read book 6 when it first came out, and then I joined the military and haven't read them since. Need to restart the series. I do recommend it. There is a free audiobook recording of book 1 and 2 on YouTube for some reason. So it's an Audible recording on YouTube.
Yeah, that happens.
I might have taken advantage of it because I had a 23-week wait.
I took advantage of that for House Moving Castle.
I will say, I had the paperback for Ranger's Apprentice, and because I finished the audiobook because I wasn't feeling good, and I was laying in bed, and I was like, okay, I could listen to more Raven Boys, and I'm like, but I know that audiobook for Ranger's Apprentice is there. So
I have the paperback of House Moving Castle, so I read half, and then I just switched to audio for the rest.
My one of my children they needed a new book. And I was like, hey, do you want to give this Ranger's Apprentice a try? So now they're reading it. Oh, I already have all the books in paperback. I just haven't been able to actually read them. I feel you. There's a reason I have read 7 audiobooks in the time it's taken me to read this book. Because I started this book in early January. But, all right, let us get started. Let's get it started hot. Let's get it started in here. I can't find the right tab. There it is. Count us down, Laura.
3, 2, 1, go!
And we're back. I read 15 pages. Well, I ate my dinner, and then I read 15 pages.
Nice.
So I'm now at page 179. I think a really cute moment's about to happen, too. 179 of... How many pages are there? 233. So.
Let's see. How many pages did I read? I went from 151 to 170. So 19.
And there's an excerpt from another book, and I'm like, do I want to read you? I always read the thing. Always less than pages, I shall. Oof. Getting my cord. Dinner was Dave's double combo from Wendy's.
I like Wendy's.
Part of the like when I have a migraine that like lasts as in like, let me start over. So ever since I got the shot, I haven't really experienced migraines the same way, but like back before I basically had any medicinal assistance with my migraines, I they would last anywhere from like 5 days to 2 weeks just on the same migraine phases. So it's been a really long time since I've had to deal with like this particular kind of migraine. But part of that is it makes me really emotional for several reasons. And one of my comfort foods is big, greasy burgers. And the Dave's Double from Wendy's is like, the beef is so good. And then with the tomato and the lettuce, and it's just so tasty.
Making me hungry.
Well, order you some. No, wait, no, because you got to go out the building to go get it. So just wait on that.
Oh.
Now my mouse doesn't want to work. Okay, there we go. 103 words. Nice. Wrote a couple things in my planner and then got stuck in my revision.
Nice.
Why stuck? What's up? Migraines suck, but my new meds are helping the constant headache go down to a 5-6 daily. Excuse me. Yes, I love burgers too, not Wendy's, but burgers in general. I will say, and I have gotten several out-of-state friends to agree, or like I didn't try to convince them, but they agree with this opinion. And my husband's finally like sort of realizing it, but like burgers in this area are just like better. Like if I was always like Wendy's has some of the best burgers, and I like maintained that stance. And then I traveled for like conventions and to visit my friends and stuff, and I was like, oh, y'all's Wendy's suck. What the fuck is wrong with this? I think part of it is we've got like local cattle ranches and stuff. Like there's a butcher that I can go to get fresh beef and everything, so that could be part of it. Mm-hmm. But like we had a Whataburger on our way back from Jurassic Quest one year, and I was not impressed by any of their things. We now have a couple Whataburgers in town, and the children are obsessed with the Dr. Pepper shake, so we decided to take them there. And the burgers at the Whataburger in our town, they were actually decent. I was like, okay, this is fine. They still charge far too much. I'm like, if I want a burger of this quality, then I'm not paying this much money, because if I'm paying this much money, I'd rather go to Five Guys. So the Five Guys is on the other side of town, so no Five Guys on the way home.
Really?
There was a thing I had said was a later problem while I was writing, and now is later, and I still have no idea what to put in the story. I feel that initial revision Sam left a couple things highlighted in yellow for later Sam, and now when I go to revise it, I'm gonna have to deal with that because all those things have to be dealt with before Fox gets it for critique. I made chili, chips, and cheese as my comfort food. Tasty. Getting ranch meat versus grocery store meat is amazing. Yes. I love the Dr. Pepper shake and burger with onion fries. The Dr. Pepper shake is good. Their strawberry shake, I just taste the strawberry syrup in the shake, and I'm like, if this is what I wanted, I would just get me a bowl of vanilla ice cream and pour strawberry syrup on it and mix it together. Like, the Roy Cam.
Hello, my sweet pea. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I want the best fast food burgers, I go to Wendy's. When I want the best fast food fries, I go to McDonald's. And when I want the best fast food chicken, I go to Chick-fil-A. These are all statements, opinions I can agree with. Except, yeah. See, I love Five Guys. My husband says they don't count as fast food, though. They're like fast casual. But I'm still like, but it is a burger. But I get what he means, and I don't disagree with him. Is there, may I ask why you don't have Five Guys anymore? If not, that's cool. I'm just curious. I'm nosy. I won't lie. The Colorado Springs Five Guys are so bad. Oh, this breaks my heart. And I don't want to drive 3 hours to the one I know is good in Boulder. That's fair. Culver's tends to be my family least. Culver's is good. I will say Culver's is good. Their chicken and their fish are good. Their burgers they're not terrible. But if I'm craving a burger, Culver's is not what I'm craving. But they're pretty good. They're what are they called? It's not ice cream. Custards. Their custards are yeah. I haven't been to a fast food joint in almost a year. For the price that it's gone up, you might as well not go. So, you need to have Five Guys worth of paychecks to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because the last time I ate a Five Guys burger, I felt like it almost gave me a heart attack. The amount of grease they had on it. I see. Yes. After that, I said, nope, a burger is not worth dying for. That's very fair. It's the cheese. Culver's has good cheese and cheese curds. Very fair. Yeah, I could see how that could be a problem. I didn't get anything done because I had to eat dinner, but I also watched a video on how to publish a book for free using KDP. Oh, cool. Fast food is 12 to 15 per person, no matter where you go these days. Yes.
Like, our McDonald's doesn't have a dollar menu.
I don't think ours has had it for a while either.
It's like, what is this?
Buy the ingredients and make 2 meals at home. See, this is where the difference comes up. Because, it is still cheaper for me to feed my children fast food than to try to make home-cooked meals for 5. And that sucks. Yeah, it hasn't had a dollar menu for a while. It used to. And then it got changed from the dollar menu to the value menu.
Yeah.
And now it's just gone.
Like, I moved up to Canada and I went to McDonald's because I thought it would be cheaper for lunch during work. The burger, it was $20. I was like, what is this?
I know. I was out running my errands solo, and I was like, okay, I'll just treat myself to a little combo, like less than $10 should be fine. It was $13. I was like, excuse you? Who do you think you are?
It was $20. It was like, I might as well have just gone across the street and gone to the gourmet sandwich place.
I'm like, I could get Waffle House for this. What the fuck am I doing? Our McDonald's now has what they call a $2 for whatever menu to replace the dollar menu. I need a $2 menu. McDonald's here has the dollar menu, but it's actually more like $1.75. Ours, and apparently Laura's has also, they were like, no. I'm morbidly fat and trying to lose weight, plus on a cheat day, I'd rather spend the money on something better than fast food, which is valid. I'm in LA, California, whether you make it at home or get fast food, it's all expensive.
I went to the farmer's market on Saturday and got chicken kebabs, chicken skewers to cook. So they're raw. I got them from the butcher. 8 skewers, $32.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
JC said, I'm like, but I don't want 2 burgers or 2 things of fries. And here it's not a 2 for, like, you can get a burger and a thing of fries. You have to get 2 burgers or 2 of the same thing. Yeah, that sucks. I bought that meal for 2 for lunch once. No, Sam, not $2, not $2, a 2 for $5 or 2 for $4. Oh, okay. We've got that. In one direction. Yeah, it's fast food is just like this. Literally what my husband and I were talking about. We were like, for what we paid for Whataburger, we could have taken the children down to like a sit down restaurant and just got our normal thing when we take them to a sit down. We're like, absolutely not.
Yeah. Like, we went to Spaghetti Factory when I was down in California for Christmas with my mom and my sister, and it was like $22 a person. And my mom's like, for spaghetti?
I was like, what kind of spaghetti am I paying 20? Is it all I can eat spaghetti?
No, 1 plate.
What does this plate come with?
I got half Mazithra sauce, half meat sauce.
So it's just a plate of spaghetti.
Well, it's a plate of spaghetti and a salad appetizer and a little thing of ice cream.
That sounds, I don't want to say fair, but it sounds normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
It didn't used to be that way growing up, and it was the first time my mom had been in years. And she was like, this is where we used to go for cheap, like, celebration dinners.
I feel that. I do. That would be like Olive Garden. Well, no, Olive Garden's kind of up there. But some days it feels like the prices at the fast food place now match the prices at the grocery store. So sometimes it's like, well, hell, at least with the fast food, I don't have to actually cook. Exactly.
And do the dishes.
Like, I don't have to cook. I don't have to do the dishes, which have piled up anyways, because the children, like, go through 5 cups in a day somehow. So it's like, it costs the same, slow effort. I know it sounds terrible, but although I will also, like, I have to mildly defend us and say we don't buy the children fast food like every day. Like, we do go grocery shopping, and we do have like family dinner at least once a week. We try. So, but it's just, if we're talking about in general sense, the like, just buy it and make it at home is, it's like more expensive to make it at home now. And that makes me sad, because I love cooking, and I love cooking at home. But also, I don't make a burger as good as Wendy's makes the Dave's double.
It's time for more water.
I remember when the old Spaghetti Factory had a great lunch menu. It was cheap and fast because they were catering to the downtown business crowd. I've never been to Spaghetti Factory, so. And I think Whataburger is audacious for charging what they charge. I appreciate this, JC. It's just sometimes, you know, as a parent, especially when you talk about your parenting publicly or semi-publicly, you get those little things in your head.
Yeah, sometimes I just go cheap and just this week lunches are PB&J sandwiches or grilled cheese. So
I feel that.
So I bought a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store today because it lasts me like 5 meals.
That's what I say. That's going to last you a good bit.
Yeah.
Chris will buy himself a small rotisserie chicken from like Publix, and then he'll just munch on that all week with like, he'll also get a thing of potato salad, and that will just be his like pre-bed, like his between dinner and before bed meal.
Yeah, I make it into sandwiches. I eat it with rice. Like I'll alternate.
Every now and then eggs will be like my obsession, and I'll have eggs with toast, or eggs with like the little mini pancakes, or eggs and spam and toast.
Ooh.
And my children will see that I'm obsessed with eggs, and they'll be like, Mom, eggs? And I'm like, all three of you know how to make your own eggs, but sure. I have to find us a new timer. As we all just lament the price of food.
Yes.
A week, like 2 days. I'm like the hound with the chicken. You were eating. So did you buy yourself multiple chicken then? Because you were eating it for a couple days. Well, I mean, like 3 or 4. You were eating it for more than 2 days. For anyone confused, this is in fact my husband. Laura, don't let me forget. I'm looking for a timer. I just start down. Like, what am I doing? I typed in 20 and then LA for Laura Nettles, and it was like 20 women versus one rapper, and I'm like,
maybe they were in LA.
Man, that could be. It's just like, I'm like 20 lots. I just did the rotisserie chicken thing and made a quiche out of the leftovers, and of course the kids want your eggs, Sam. I have recently loved somewhat rubbing it in my husband's face that Daddy's plate is always the best tasting plate, because our youngest is like, she is and she isn't a daddy's girl. Like, she is very aggressively independent, and she doesn't really lean toward either one of us for, like, you know, if we're going out and it's like, oh, everybody pick your adult or anything. But when it comes to food, she is the biggest daddy's girl. So like ever since she was little, like I want to say 2 or 3, right? Like Chris would eat a steak, and of course she would want some of his steak. And then from that point on, she loved steak. And so anything that he is or he's eating, she'd be like, what you eat? And like, he bought cereal, right? It's Raisin Bran. And so she eats some of his cereal, and it's like, what child eats Raisin Bran?
Not Raisin Bran.
So he bought her own Raisin Bran, but she'll still eat his Raisin Bran. And I'm like, Daddy's Raisin Bran tastes better. It was like when we were at my like family's house and we're talking about, oh, my dad had some Raisin Bran and Roxy wanted some cereal, and my mom was like, well, you have to ask Pops. And Pops was like, you want some of my Raisin Bran? And he looks at me and he's like, what are you doing to your children? And I'm like, I'm doing nothing to my children. She eats Daddy's cereal. And I like pointed at my husband. And my dad looks at him and he's like, you eat Raisin Bran? And my husband's like, what's wrong with Raisin Bran? And my dad's like, nothing. I love Raisin Bran. I'm just confused as to why the child eats Raisin Bran. I'm like, she's allowed to eat other things. That's just what she wants. Did you see the video on YouTube where the dad accidentally bought 10 orders Holy shit, no!
Sounds delicious.
I don't know. I buy the big pack of chicken thighs to meal prep. The 8-piece of chicken from Publix last 2 days. The rotisserie last today. Fair enough. No, we eat Raisin Nut Bran. It's different. Okay. My apologies. Raisin Nut Bran. Either way.
Oh, I will keep my comment to myself.
I would pester you, but this is my child. So, like,
I'll just type it out in the private chat. How's that?
yeah. The wife is cackling with my mom, and I thought it was hilarious. Oh, he sent me a screenshot for, you know how Facebook does the like memories where it was like, this on this day so many years ago you posted this. Well, he sent me a screenshot this morning that's from, I think, 12 years ago, and it was like, he said that our oldest just said his first word, dada. And I'm like, how dare you? Like,
reopen the wounds.
Well, neither of us genuinely remembered what any of our children's first words were. But now we have confirmation, so now I feel betrayed. I thought we were in this together with the parental amnesia, but no. I loved Raisin Bran and grape nuts as a child. And grapefruit juice, too. I was a little old lady in a 5-year-old body.
Can't do grapefruit.
For me, it depends. Like, I don't dislike it, I just don't prefer it. But there are like some grapefruit juices that I'm just like, what did you do? Take the little sugar that was there out of it? like I've tasted fresh grapefruit before, and it wasn't quite this tart. So that reminds me. So the school sent home the snack stuff, right? And there was these little bottles of cranberry juice. And I didn't think about the fact that because it's from the school, they would try to get like the healthiest version of a thing. So I'm like, oh, cranberry juice. I make cranberry sauce.
Uh-huh.
Cranberries themselves are tart,
Yes.
but it's not that bad. What I have come to discover through cranberries and grapefruit is that once you juice a thing, the level of tartness goes through the roof compared to if you just ate the fruit fresh. Lemons aren't as big a difference for some reason, at least not to me. But oh my God, I drank that cranberry juice. I was like, oh, hello. That just put hair on my chest, I think.
Hence, I usually get cranberry raspberry or like cranberry cherry, cranberry pomegranate.
My children, they were like, I was like, oh, it's tart. And they're like, well, what's tart? I'm like, have a taste and you'll know what tart is. I managed to force my oldest to like taste it because I think it's important that they know what taste to associate with a word.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tasted he was not having it. My younger two, because the older one did, they were like, okay, we'll give it a little try. My youngest, ever the I will not show weakness. She was just like, yeah, it's tart. I'm like, oh, so do you want to drink more? She goes, no. But cranberry mixes are the only way to survive. I drank the rest of it. I will not be defeated by the tartness of anything, but I was not expecting it. I was like, no, that's not how, well, I will never be sucker punched by a tart cranberry again. I will always expect it. Did you know that lemons aren't natural? They're a hybrid humans made from an orange and a citron. Yes. Did I remember it before you said that? No, but that was a thing that I knew at some point in my life.
Shall we find a timer?
I have a timer.
You did it. Oh, I love this one.
I don't know if it's the first time I've seen this timer, but it's the first time I remember this timer. You know how I know that I've done my eyeliner a little too heavy is because if I look down or something, the camera's like, oh, where'd she go? And it only does that when I have really thick eyeliner. It's just like, oh, she disappeared into the curtain. So that's a new thing I've had to deal with. I shall count us down this time. 3, 2, 1, go! The 20 minutes flew by so fast.
On the wings of an eagle.
See,
I'm
I got
taking pictures for my journal.
12 pages, right?
Yeah.
Then I had to let my dog out. So we're getting there. I'm on 192 or 193, one of them. I was also trying to respond to a Discord because I had my children need to start their showers and whatnot.
Ah.
It's the final bedtime. Also, like, it's either a bite or a pimple on my arm. I'm like, I think it hurts.
It's both.
Something bit my pimple, and it's ah. Right. So RP said the phrase "when life gives you lemons" should actually be "when we gave ourselves lemons." I think it's like I think lemons were picked on purpose because they're man-made. So it's like when life gives you lemons, which is these unnatural problems to deal with.
Oh,
Right here.
there you are.
It's like, ma'am, no. Yes, it's literally what every video says when people realize that. Like, life did, in fact, not give us lemons. We made it ourselves, which is a whole other proverbial phrase. See, well, is it over already? I know, right? I was like, damn, that 20 minutes was short. I had decided to spend the time working on some art. Nice. 184 words for me. Sweet.
Very nice.
I would say I'm enjoying this book. Is like told from the perspective of she's 12 or 13 writing a journal. And she's like sharing the events that are going on with like her family and her friends for the summer. And it's pretty interesting because there's like something going on with her cousin, but she doesn't fully get what's going on. But like you as the reader can figure out what's going on. But just seeing it from her perspective is like, it's so cute and fascinating how she doesn't know any of the things. So
Nice.
I told my child, I'm like, are y'all showering? My oldest is like, I finished showering. I'm like, okay, cool. Tell your brother. My other child goes, I know. I'm like, I never know when y'all check this chat.
So many cards.
Kind of sort of figured out the thing I needed to put in, kind of maybe. I hope.
Oh.
Whether or not it works is for next revision RP. To make sure that like it works, because you'll have like done the rest of the story, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, no, this is fine, or oh nope, I need to fix that. Curious what vibes does the title "The Garden in the Woods" give?
A witchy's secret garden.
It like would depend on what the thumbnail or the cover look like and what medium I'm looking at. If it's a movie, I'ma assume it's some sort of psychological thing, whether it's horror or like a contemporary girl coming of age story. That's what I would assume there. If it was a book, I'd say like either women's lit or a YA or middle grade targeted at girls. If it was a webtoon, it's definitely an isekai where somebody was killed by Truck-kun. And
not Truck-kun! He never gets the... He works overtime, man.
So if it's a video game, it could be so many different things. So, or mystery. I could also see that being a mystery. So those are all the potential possibilities that come to mind for that title. Laura, I must share with you. I started reading this comic where she was like, yes, like this is one of those stories where the main character is like killed, or this is just like one of those stories where, someone is killed and then they're reborn as like the main heroine or the villainess, or or the daughter of a fallen noble thing, and like they died accidentally and all this, and then they like go on to do these other things. There's like, this story is nothing like any of those. And she's like, I was going about my day doing reports, and then I was murdered, and it shows her being run over by a car. It's like, oh yeah, nothing like any of those other stories. But I was like, this comic is so self-aware in chapter 1. And like the premise and continued in like the little prologue-y preview thing, she like drunkenly confesses her love to the wrong person.
Oh
no! But he's also into her. And I'm like, oh. And then it's all like it goes back in time, and I'm having to like read up. I'm like, no, I want to go back to. I didn't need any of this context. I hate when they do this to me. You wrote a good hook. I don't need the backlog. It's fine. Don't try to justify her crush on the other guy. I'm not gonna care. I already have my pairing. So that was my favorite new read of the month, right, as far as comics go. Oh, hold on. I thought of it like that once, and now I'm dealing with the consequences. Trust me, I think like that every time, and then have to deal with the consequences every time. It builds character. It sounds like a fantasy garden in the middle of a forest.
Mm-hmm.
It's the horror short story that I am working on, and it's sort of female coming of it. As long as she's not getting killed by Truck-kun.
Falling in love with Refrigerator Senpai.
I will say there is one called it's either why Ray Liotta ended up at the Duke's Mansion or how Ray Liotta ended up at the Duke's Mansion. And that one actually like hints at this deeper mystery for why she died. Because like she was on top of a building and somebody she knew pushed her off, but she doesn't remember who, and she doesn't remember everything. And I'm like, there's a mystery on top of the that one's really good. It's been turned into an anime on Crunchyroll, the first season, and it's completed on Tappy Toons. I broke my vow to not return to Tappy Toons because my friend wanted to read it, and I was like, we will share an account. I'm back. I'm there. But I have yet to go to Tapas, so I'm trying to only go to sites that either have a very cheap subscription, like Manta. I pay $5 a month for unlimited comics. So, or things that like if I can earn coins by reading or by logging in daily, because I'm like I'm a patient bitch. I can do that.
Nice.
It's more of a killer garden in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the woods. Baby, I read that webtoon. I actually have the printed copy. Which one? Ray Liotta? Or the I think it's called False Confession. I was gonna say, or the False Confession one. And I'm like, wait, that's the title.
So a killer garden in the forest reminds me of Venus flytraps. And then I was thinking the Venus garden in the woods. I don't know.
That reminds me of the Goosebumps book. Something in the basement.
Stay out of the basement.
Thank you. I was like, don't go down in the basement? No, that's wrong. My children, I've made a deal with them that on Google Play Books, because they have a family share feature, I was like, okay. So I bought myself book 1 of Goosebumps, and I'm like, but I can't justify buying a new Goosebumps book every time I finish one because they're such short reads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't has the monies, but I can justify it for the children because they read much slower and they don't really read much electronically. So one of them finally finished the first book, which was Welcome to the Dead House, and then so I now own Welcome to the Dead House and Stay Out of the Basement. I was like the one we were just talking about. So this is how I will eventually come to own all of the Goosebumps books.
Nice.
On Google Play. Oh, the Duke's Mansion. I cannot spell her. I know her name's like Rea. There's an I somewhere in there. I think there's 2 I's, 3 A's, and an E, and then some consonants sprinkled. Oh, this is going to be full on 1930s horror camp starring Vincent Price.
Flippin' love Vincent Price.
Fun fact, Venus flytraps are native to North Carolina, as are like half of the carnivorous plants in North America. Fair.
Nice.
Hey yo, Mimi. Came in really late, had to go to therapy and then make dinner. Happens. In fact, happens every other Monday, if I remember correctly. Which is not a call out, it's just me saying there is an expected pattern. Therefore, don't feel bad about it. I'm trying to take some headaches. So my husband, he bought me another 2-pack of the. So it's an over-the-counter headache pill, right? It's the generic brand one. It is the only one that can do anything for my migraines.
Really?
And yes. It's like I have had like at least 5 or 6 different prescription migraine things. None of them could do anything. I've tried ibuprofen. Although I did read somewhere that if ibuprofen helps your migraine, you should seek a doctor immediately because ibuprofen is for anti-inflammation.
Yes, it is.
Like, that's helping your headache. That's questionable. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad it's not helping them. But I've also tried Tylenol. I've tried all of the things. But the only thing that does anything for it is this, right? And when CB was here, she was also getting a headache. I'm like, would you like my magic migraine pills? And she's like, yes. So she's like, normal medicine doesn't do much for it anyway. I'm like, me too, but just see if this helps. And it helped her too. I'm like, I don't know what it is about this, but so for anybody who has migraines and
it is magic.
Nothing. It's the magic migraine pill. But also don't take them daily, because if you take headache pills daily, unless it's like prescribed to be taken daily, it can actually start to cause headaches. I didn't know that, but I do now. So it gives me Secret Garden and Over the Garden Wall vibes. Both of these are things I have heard of and know nothing about.
I love Over the Garden Wall. I read The Secret Garden as a kid.
Well, once I finish my approximately 80 books, I will start to take new recommendations.
Over the Garden Wall is a 10 episode cartoon for Cartoon Network.
Oh.
So there's 2 episodes per episode, pretty much. Like they're very short, but like, it's pure autumnal vibes with some like 1930s animation going on in there in some parts, and it's just like so good. And Elijah Wood is the voice of the main character.
Oh, fun times.
Yeah.
So I almost experienced I almost expect a dangerous secret in the wood. 10 episodes that range like no more than 15 minutes each. Those I can do. I had binged way too much Welcome to Night Vale, and my fever dreams became a killer garden starring Vincent Price as the gardener. And now I am writing a creepypasta based on it. I love it. You just have to say Vincent Price is involved or the inspiration, and I am there. I don't. All other details are just a little flavor spice on top of it. Yes, and they also have Christopher Lloyd and Tim Curry as guests.
Tim Curry plays Auntie Whispers. So if you want a little old lady voiced by Tim Curry, I give you.
You know I do, Laura. You know I do.
So good.
So, speaking of like 1930s, right? All right. So, the sequel series to Tale of the Nine-Tailed is called Tale of the Nine-Tailed 1938, right? I knew this. I knew there was going to be some time shenanigans, right? Well, Stevie and I go to watch episode 1, right? And at the beginning of episode 1, there are like these soldiers doing a thing. And I'm like, those look like Japanese military uniforms. I'm like staring there, and I'm so upset. Like CB's fangirling over like the Wild West and all these other vibes, and I'm sitting here going, "Yeah, that looks like." I'm like, that looks like hiragana or oh fuck, I forgot the other. Yes, thank you. Katagana. I'm like, it's one of those. And I'm sitting here, and I'm trying to figure out what era they're in historically, Laura. Right? I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, so they are in Korea, but I'm like, oh, maybe this is like one of the times Japan occupied Korea, right? And I'm sitting here trying to be like, okay, this has to be after the colonial period of Japan. And I'm like, oh, and there's a bunch of like Western suits going on. So I'm like, yeah, it's got to be, it's in the 1900s, but early 1900s. And then at some point, I'm like, wait a sec. The show is called Tale of the Nine-Tailed 1938. I'm like, yeah, it's the 1930s, all right. But CB was like, but you were doing so well. And I'm like, I really like knowing the historical things of shows that are well done in historical context. We're also talking about this one thing. And CB was like, one of the characters saw another character and they just immediately like knew they were Japanese. And she's like, well, how can he tell? And I'm like, well, there are ways to tell the difference. Those ways are a lot harder when you have Korean actors playing Japanese characters. So, this is a K-drama. So I'm like, so right now we just kind of gotta trust the characters. But it's like, watch enough different things and there are like there's differences here and there. So LMAO, that's like looking for your phone, right? It's like, yeah, no, I'll be on my way. I got my keys and I just have to find my phone. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, I've done that before too.
My dad asked his coworkers where his glasses were. They were on top of his head the whole time.
Like sometimes we're just so focused on other things.
Yeah.
The obvious.
All of these stickers. Yay!
Stickers. Are you journaling now?
Yes.
Yeah. We can catch up a little bit. But I was quite proud of myself and the amount of history that I know about things.
Nice.
All thanks to my father and my love of samurai media. Because, like, I 100% inherited this from, or at least my dad was the biggest influence of this. So like when would be watching something and he would start telling me like the historical context or like the difference, like this started way back with Hercules, like Disney's Hercules. And he'd be like, all right, so just so you know, in the myths, they are not actually in a happy marriage. And I'm like, oh, like, but
Who, Hera and Zeus?
Yeah.
Heck no.
He's like, Hercules isn't even Hera's son in the myth. And I'm like, no. Like, I think it came out in 1998 too. So I think like little 8-year-old me, it's just like, really? And so like ever since then, like when we watched The Last Samurai, like my dad I was like, could cowboys and samurais actually exist at the same time? And my dad's like, yeah, historically they were like around at the same time. And so I learned many things. I will also defend The Last Samurai on my hill because Tom Cruise, I think it was Tom Cruise.
I think so.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is not The Last Samurai. It is a story about the last samurai and what is very quickly becoming like Japan is trying to force the samurai era out so they can move forward due to, you know, westernization influence and all of that. Yeah. And The Last Samurai is a Japanese character who is a samurai that, like, if I remember right, dies in the movie. It's just all told from the perspective of an American character.
Yeah.
And like, because, you know, he was top billing and everything, the movie was like marketed as if like he is the last samurai and all of that, but he's not. And I hate that that is a thing that happened, because it's a really good movie. I think it's
I still need to see it.
Well, Teen Sam recommends it. Adult Sam has not seen it since she was a teen, but I do remember that. They do really well with a lot of the historical facts and everything. And even like my dad was talking to me, because like in the movie, sorry for spoilers, but I figure you'd tell me to shut up if you cared. So in the movie, right, like they're like Tom Cruise is technically a prisoner of war, I think, because he gets captured. But whereas the soldiers that he was fighting alongside, they perform seppuku because you know it's dishonorable for them to have died in a fight. They don't expect or make Tom Cruise's character do the same because they know that that's not his. That's like not his culture. It's not how they perceive things. So I was like my dad explained that to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Team Sam thought that was awesome. I was like, yeah, respecting cultural differences.
I have 47 Ronin, but I haven't watched it in years, and I remember like nothing about it.
Same. Well, I mean, I don't have it, but I've seen it. Oh, speaking of old movies, though, this is like mildly off topic, but Dracula was on sale for like $3 or $4 over the break. So I bought it because my my children wanted to start watching horror movies. I want them to start black and white. And my husband agreed because I feel like for horror movies specifically, I feel like one should start with the black and white films for the classic Universal monster movies, right? Because so much modern media references those specifically, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, you just think of like kids shows like Monster High.
I own the box set of all of the Universal monster movies.
No, I want it. Well, but right now I'm getting what I can. And so she watched Dracula, right? And then we played this Jackbox game called Role Models at my mom's house, and I was pleasantly surprised. She loves Dracula. It's like one of her favorite movies now. Nice. But we're playing Role Models, and we all had to assign each other, you know, classic movie monsters, right? So I assigned her the monster from the Black Lagoon, because that child is a fish. She's like
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep, that one. She's like first in the pool, last out. You have to drag that child out. Bravest of them all, first one who's just like, yeah, no, I'll try it without floaties, or I want to try the deep end. All of that. So we're good. Well, then I was like talking to her. She was like, I wanted to be Dracula. And I'm like, baby, I know, but that's because Dracula's the only one you've seen. I'm like, but this one fits you better. And she's like, well, I want to see the monster from the Black Lagoon. And I'm like, well, I'll let you know when it goes on sale. And she's like, can I buy it? And I'm like, yes, you have the money. And so she bought it. And now that's like one of her favorite movies. And now she's like, I want to buy the sequel. She's just like, fuck the Mummy, the Wolfman. She doesn't care. She wants the next Creature of the Black Lagoon. And I'm like, fair enough. I know, right? I'll just bring the children to Laura's house for a marathon.
I have 2 silent horror films. I have the Universal box set. I have an extra box set of more Bela Lugosi movies. I have the 80s Nosferatu movie remake, or is it 70s? I think it's 70s from Germany. I have quite a few.
Mimi said, I haven't seen the original Dracula, but I saw the original Nosferatu, and it was so funny. I don't remember much about the original Nosferatu, though I know I've seen it. And it is older than the original Dracula. Like, that one did
technically. This is the remake from Germany, the Klaus Kinski one, Werner Herzog. So
kind of
it's very slow because it's a Werner Herzog, and oh my gosh, we had to watch his version, his Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Oh, it was so slow. But this one I enjoy. Like, I don't need a long shot of people walking up a mountain for 15 minutes.
Are you sure, Laura? You need this atmosphere. You need to feel it.
Like, I know you're filming on location in the Amazon, and so you got to show it. We don't need it held for this long. Oh my gosh.
So, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised with how much she enjoyed it, especially since she's 9, going on 10. And I mean, thinking about it, I started watching these about that age or younger, actually probably 5 or 6. So I shouldn't have been too surprised. But like, she sat there and she'd be like, what's up with his eyes? And I'm like, okay, so back in these days, they didn't really have computer graphics or anything. So they were like, had to do their special effects. They're called practical effects. And so I was talking to her about what practical effects are. And I'm like, in order to make him look eerie and powerful, they're shining a light on his eyes. And I'm like, which makes him keeping them open pretty impressive. And so she was just like, oh, and so she would like ask about the things. And I will say, for the most part, the practical effects in Dracula hold up. Little toy bats, not so much, but it's fine. It's fine. Every time I saw the bat, I was like, I can't laugh. And it's just like, no, master.
Yes.
But
okay.
Still
so the German one, most of the cast was bilingual, so they simultaneously filmed it in German and English. So the only thing is, I watched the German one more because Renfield's laugh is slightly more maniacal in those takes. It's like, I gotta get the maniacal Renfield.
That's like Chris and I watch JoJo mostly in English, but every time like Dio comes on and starts doing a thing, especially if he says useless, Chris will rewind it, change the audio to Japanese, and then play it because he loves that so much. And I'm just like, he enjoys that so much. We were watching Sailor Moon, and one of the villains was just like, it's useless. And he was like, he looks at me and I'm like, go ahead. And he rewound my Sailor Moon. I'm like, sir.
Is it like Muda? Useless?
I think so, yes. Yeah. That sounds correct. He also does it for like domu. So. Kelly's gonna she's staging a raid of your collection.
The 2 silent films I have are Lon Chaney Sr., And it is Phantom of the Opera, where he is the Phantom, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where he's the Hunchback. And his practical makeup effects, oh my gosh, he literally put hooks in his nose to contort it, and like put drops in his eyes to like make the dilations funky. Like,
I love monster actors. Monster actors are phenomenal.
he acted with a 40-pound hump on his back, climbing the set. It's like, sir, I know I love your son who was the Wolfman.
Workout routine.
You take the cake, sir.
Mimi said, I think the only black and white movie that genuinely scared me was Vincent Price's House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
I
have... Just pull it off my wall.
The
The Body Snatcher with Karloff and Lugosi. There's a scene where they're in a stagecoach in the dark going from a gravesite, and the lightning's going up. I had to take my feet off the ground. I was like, nope.
You're like, I'm not dealing with that.
I'm keeping my tootsies safe.
Now that they've seen Dracula, I need to buy the Wolfman, because after they see the Wolfman and I think Frankenstein are the two I need to get next. So I can then introduce them to two of my favoriteest series.
Costello Meet Frankenstein?
No. Underworld.
Okay.
Which I saw all of the Underworlds in theaters with my dad from the first one. So like we started going to see those when I was 13. And then
Van Helsing.
Yes. That's exactly it. I love that
Dracula. I cried so hard. Oh
I will defend Van Helsing on the same hill I will defend The Last Samurai. I know people give it such shit, but I'm sitting here I don't understand the issue. It's supposed to be good, campy, fun horror, and it delivered. I don't know what else y'all wanted. Who played Van Helsing in that one? Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
And then
I have watched the opening with the village mob and the black and white whole sequence multiple times. Of just like, I don't have time for a full movie. Let me just watch the opening. Okay, I'm good.
I'm pretty sure Celine is like the actress who plays Celine in Underworld plays the female hunter in Van Helsing, whose name escapes me. I think it's the same actress. Don't quote me on that.
Still need to see Underworld.
Oh my gosh. Underworld is so good, Laura. My favorite is Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which is either 2 or 3. And it's technically a prequel. And, who's surprised that my favorite is Rise of the Lycans? Also, it's sad. It has a sad ending, but it's still my favorite. So good.
I love Young Frankenstein, Kelly. It is so funny.
Yes. I'm going back up to catch up on everybody. It all came through at once on StreamYard. I love Underworld. It's so good. I've got that movie box set. Van Helsing's so much fun. Oh my god, I love Underworld. So good. I was hoping you would say that. If not, I would mention it. Van Helsing was so good. And my mouse. There we go. Underworld, yes. Celine and Anna are both Kate Beckinsale. Thank you. Yes. Whom also plays. Fuck, what is her name? She's in Resident Evil. She plays the lead in Resident Evil as well.
Mila Jovovich?
Oh no, wait.
I worked on those ones. I had to memorize her face.
You worked on Resident Evil?
The final chapter and the reboot with Welcome to Raccoon City.
That's awesome. Kelly said I would go see Frankenstein in the theater. It was a double feature with Young Frankenstein. Nice. Back from eating and cleaning up, and we're getting a Laura poster breakdown. Yes, Laura and I are like sharing our love of old, like right now specifically kind of like older horror films and stuff, because my children wanted to start watching horror movies and I wanted to start with the classics so they could grow an appreciation for practical effects, monster acting, and just how these story elements have evolved over time. Plus, they will understand so many more Easter eggs than like the average moviegoer by watching these movies. So, best night ever. You two have too much fun. But thank you.
So I watched the original Frankenstein, which is only a 15-minute movie from like 1912 or something. It's really, it's on YouTube. But Frankenstein goes to college. And like 2 years later, he's discovered the origin of life. I was like, my college didn't work out like that. Like, I failed.
Oh no. I'll probably look up that 15-minute one to let the kids watch. Like, I know that's like Chris and I talked about if they should watch Nosferatu or Dracula first. And I was like, I would love for them to watch Nosferatu first, but one, Dracula is currently on sale for $3. That was a big part of the decision making. But also, like, what most modern things are going to reference is the Dracula one. I get excited whenever something references Nosferatu, though. I'm like, oh, it knows the OG. But yeah, so like definitely they will have both.
What We Do in the Shadows, when they have like the Nosferatu version.
I love that. All right, hold on, let's catch up on chat. Underworld and Rise of the Lycans were the best. I agree. It really is a lot of fun. Damn, I haven't seen any of those movies in so long. Well, you're welcome for reminding you of their existence. The sad part of Rise of the Lycans was that you knew what was going to happen from the first movie. I know! No, Resident. Yep. I appreciate everybody who corrects me because I prefer being accurate over being right. So I liked Resident Evil. So did I. I will say that like a lot of Resident Evil fans I know didn't. Or like people who played the games didn't like the movie, but I enjoy the movie. And I have a special thing with Resident Evil and my dad because he would play the game. Like my dad would play games and I would lay in my parents' room watching him play games. Well, sometimes I would fall asleep to him like playing Final Fantasy and I would wake up to him playing Resident Evil. Well, like because I was behind him. If I thought he was going to turn around or something, I'd just close my eyes and pretend to be asleep. And I heard my mom come in one day and she got mad at him. She's like, why are you playing that while she's in here? And he's like, she's asleep. And I'm like, I can't move until she leaves now. But then so when we watched, or when the movie first came out and he was like, oh, he's like, they're the ones who made the zombie thing. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, because that's the Umbrella Corp logo. And I was like, why is the Umbrella Factory evil?
I don't know.
Horror isn't my go-to. I feel like the Resident Evil movie was more like an action movie with zombies as the monsters. Yeah, the old black and white horror is a special place in my heart. Same.
I worked on the, like, they fall into the basements and we called him Mr. McMeaty. Like the Spanish bacon zombie. So I worked on him a lot where they have the flashlight and stuff and there's all the hooks. So I worked on that sequence in there. And yeah, a lot of action. We had to track the glowing eyes. Like we had to put the glowing eyes in the sockets and stuff. And oh, fun times.
You've lived a life of special effects, Laura.
But I also worked on Monster Hunter, which also is her. And monsters. So that was fun.
What's up? Barrett, Kelly would like to know what is the best OG horror in your opinion? What's up? Oh, you want up, then you have to help me. Yeah. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Really, I was obsessed with classic Resident Evil, and I thought the original movie did such a nice job making references. But then again, I didn't expect / ask for the game characters to make a cameo.
Yeah, Chris, like Alice isn't in the game. Like, what?
Yeah. That's the irony. Classic Resident Evil always went action, action, action at the very end. I never played the games, so I don't know. The only thing I know about the Resident Evils are from two sources. One, waking up and watching my dad when I wasn't supposed to be. So I didn't exactly get a lot of information from that. And then two, anime conventions. That's how I know what Pyramid Head is. Because there were a couple of people who cosplayed as this butcher with a pyramid on their head. And I was like, what is that? And I had a friend who played the game. So I was like, oh, that's Pyramid Head from Resident Evil. That has been burned into my mind ever since.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, it has a very special place in my heart because of some really good memories attached to it. I will say movies like Frankenstein and the Wolfman are probably the reason why sometimes I prefer to empathize with the monsters than with the human characters.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris and I were watching this Norwegian horror movie called Troll, right? And we're like watching it. Well, they've got this one character who he's like the dad of the female lead, and he's like talking about the troll and stuff. And then I'm like, the troll's not a bad guy. And Chris goes, what? And I'm like, yeah, the troll, like, they just need to leave him alone. He's just trying to get somewhere. I don't know where he's trying to get, probably home. He's just trying to go home. And then in the next scene, they like bring out these helicopters ringing the bells and stuff to hurt the troll's ears. And I'm like, these assholes, just let him go home. He's fine. And then, they start shooting at him, so he starts swatting the helicopters. And you see these little village people, and there's like this boy here, and his dad like goes to like shield him from this helicopter falling on him. I'm like, no, Mr. Troll, save him! And the troll puts his hand out, catches the helicopter to save the child. And I'm like, see, the troll only attacks those who are attacking him. And my husband's just like, what the fuck? He's like, you willed that troll to be good. And I'm like, that's like when we were watching Alien Resurrection, the one with the white, the baby alien that was made with her DNA. And like, we were watching that movie, and I'm sitting here going, no, he just wants to be with his mama. He just thinks that she's his mama, like Ripley. And like, he just thinks that Ripley's his mama. He's like, no. And then she like does a little hole and he's being sucked out. And I'm like, no, he's crying for mama. He's confused and he doesn't understand. And like a week or so later, Chris goes, there's actually like, with the movie, they released a special little booklet that is basically the movie from the alien's point of view. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, how is the narration? He's like, it's pretty much everything you said, and that's weird. And I'm like, I understood him. So I'm just like, I am the monster speaker. I am very confident in my ability to survive any horror situation because I will know immediately who to make friends and foes with. Like, those monsters will eat me. That monster I can get on my side. Oh, Pyramid Head is Silent Hill, but that's close enough. I have migraine hangover right now, so everything is mixing together. In high school, it was always Resident Hill versus Silent Hill debates. No, read that one. Right in the Frankenstein movie is someone I can sympathize with. Good call, Kelly. Laura has recommended it before.
So really good there's movie. 2 different versions of Frankenstein I can recommend. There is the amazing Boris Karloff version. He has my heart. You will recognize his voice as he is the narrator for the old school How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He also plays the mummy in The Mummy. But if you want a slightly more modern, the Kenneth Branagh one. I think it's Robert De Niro plays the monster. Oh, so good too.
My doggo is sliding off the chair. There you go. I had to rearrange you so you didn't fall. You're just so cozy. You're sliding off
you have
the chair.
Their health in mind.
I know. How dare I move her? She was cozy. And now she's cozy again. You're the one who asked to be up here. You did. Because I'm not going to put you up here unless you ask. I want Sam to do a reaction channel for these monster movies. The like reactions are just, is it friend or foe? People send them in. We'll see how often I'm correct.
I'll go get my Robert De Niro one and show you what it looks like.
Robert De Niro. I will set us up a timer while you are away. No, that is 15 minutes. I need 20 minutes.
So.
Okay, you must come to me. I can't get up.
Why? Because of the puppy?
Yes, because of the puppy.
So it is Kenneth Branagh,
I started.
Helena Bonham Carter, Ian Holm, so Bilbo Baggins, John Cleese.
What are you doing with the puppy?
She wanted up here.
No. Give me the puppy.
Okay, take her. You can take her in the bedroom. Sorry, Laura.
Oh, the puppy.
Oh, I'll just take the cat.
All right, take the cat.
Came out 2004, so it's still older, but not quite 30s.
One more 20-minute sprint. A third, a second, the same, a third. If I had the time, Laura, I will look it up. There are some big names in it.
This is the handsomest Dr. Frankenstein you'll ever see.
What are you doing? I know. Daddy was here and he didn't pick you up. What a shame.
How dare.
Someone's spoiled.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one more sprint to squeeze in.
Yes.
As much as I would love to continue talking about horror movies and monsters that deserved better. Because we know I could go on about both of these. All right. Whose turn is it to count us down? Laura, you count us down. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go!
And we have returned.
I'm
How
just
did everybody
loading
do?
over here with sneezes.
I saw. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I have read 10 pages? No.
10,000 pages.
Oh, I wish. 92 plus 10 is 202. So 18 pages, actually. Oh. It helps that it's like middle grade, so, they go by a little faster.
Yeah. I love middle grade.
I do. I greatly enjoy it. Speaking of monster movies, I need to put on my list to rewatch 1999 The Mummy. Yes, it's the best one.
It's so good.
I am so pleased that they decided to make it an action comedy instead of a horror remake.
Yeah. It's very different and it's very fun.
And they pay so much homage to the original. It's great. Agreed. Kelly 100% this. Was that Billy Zane in The Mummy? Or am I thinking of another movie? The 1990 one has Brandon Fraser. I do not know if Billy Zane is in it.
I put the
Oh, yes. Yep. Okay. I see what happened. Kitty time. Billy Zane was Titanic. I love his work. I just did more work on art. Nice. I listened to some creepypasta on YouTube as the whiskey is getting to me. Fair enough. So I have a funny whiskey related story.
Oh yeah.
So I have always enjoyed Bailey's Irish Cream, right? And recently we got some of it and to put some cocoa and stuff. Well, I was talking to a friend about the fact that I'm like, I don't like a lot of wines. I am very much that southern stereotype of a whiskey girly instead of a wine girly. And I'm like, which is why I'm kind of happy that I have this Bailey's Irish Cream because it's, something other than whiskey that I can drink. And then we were talking about what exactly is Bailey's. And I'm like, well, I know it's a liqueur, but a liqueur just means a sweet alcohol. So I looked it up. And Bailey's is an Irish whiskey. And I was like, oh, like, well, makes sense. But yep, I likes me some whiskey. I was reading my old fanfic and being proud of myself. Nice. I did absolutely nothing that sprint. Got distracted by YouTube. But
I pulled out the mangoes.
I'm glad my dog cannot hear the squeaky toy. I heard the squeaky toy and I was like, I thought you killed them all.
Hello, sir. Oh, if you don't want to throw it, you gotta drop it. Not dance right out of my range.
With Riju, I very much, whenever she has something and I need it, I ask her nicely. I'm like, I'll be like, give it here or release, and then she'll drop it. And this has worked marvelously because now she's just like, I'm gonna get a pet when I bring mom something. So if she has something she's not supposed to, I'm just like, bring it here, and she brings it to me, and I'm like, yes, thank you, and then I take it, and then she's like confused because she's not getting it back, but then I like pet her, and all is forgiven. I heard the squeaky toy. It sounded like a laugh. Alcohol peep. Also fair enough. Oh, it was tea on Jack Daniels. But all right. It is time for us to wind down.
He's trying to make fetch happen.
It's not gonna happen, Roy. Fetch is not gonna be a thing. I'm confident I can finish this book tonight. I don't know about you. You're a tiny book, but you're still 100 and something pages.
Yeah.
But I will at least be able to finish this tomorrow because I know that like I have read this in a day in the past, and I read faster than I used to.
Oh.
I just discovered. Because I was like, did I really read 20 pages in 20 minutes? Who am I?
Somebody amazing, I guess.
Because it used to take me like, I'd read like 40 or 45 pages in an hour. So now I'm like, I'm doing like a page a minute. So I'm very pleased.
Flying through them.
So, and once I finish these two, well, when I do the dishes later, I'm going to be listening to Raven Boys. But once I finish these two, I get to just binge Raven Boys until February 1st.
Aha.
Oh, and then I have to start on the romancy books I have to read, which is funny. Yeah, here are my romance picks for. Oh, I gotta go to the right tab. Ugh. This is my Agatha Christie tab. All right, so I will be reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting by Sophie Irwin, Jurassic Park by Mike
So romantic.
I was like, my husband was trying to help me find these books in the library so that I could have physical copies in case my holds for the audiobooks don't come in. And he was like, he looks at me, he's like, Jurassic Park? And I'm like, somebody did romance, so I had to go into their bonuses. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't mistake Jurassic Park for a romance, dear. It's fine.
Sure.
And then Love and Olives by Jenna Evans. Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon, which a couple friends of mine have been desperately wanting me to read Ice Planet Barbarians because they were like, they need my reaction on it. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. You Again by Kate Goldbeck. 28 Questions by Indiana Schneider, and Night Play by Sherilyn Kenyon. Night Play was my pick.
Nice.
But yeah, so those are my 8 for February that I have to get through. And I have, of course, because I am a completionist, I have also written down like the bonus books. So for people who put like more than one favorite, and I'm like, if I ever happen to have spare time in a month, which my spare time in January would be dedicated to this. If I didn't have my Raven Boys reread.
Nice.
Also, I like that these books kind of match, but they are about drastically different things. Raven Boys is on my team. Oh, it's so good! I know you don't listen to the audiobooks, but the audiobooks are narrated by Will Patton, and the book takes place in Henrietta, which is supposed to be this like little southern town, and his voice has such a nice southern drawl, and he does all these good voices, and I'm like, oh, I love listening to him. And I can listen to him at 1 speed or ×2, and he's still like, he talks in such a slow southern drawl that at ×2 he still sounds like he's speaking at a normal level. I'm like, Will. I have the first book of Raven Boys. I'm planning on reading it in February, and I'm rereading the book version of Under the Oak Tree Season 1, which is also a webtoon, mainly because Season 2 is that. The Oak Tree, I know, we need to go. I'm sorry, Laura, I'm keeping you awake. Poor Roy, he just wants to go to bed. Under the Oak Tree, me and a friend buddy read Under the Oak Tree, and like, we buddy read Under the Oak Tree and Disobey the Duke If You Dare. And we were like, we like Under the Oak Tree, but the massive amounts of miscommunication and drama from like, things that could be cleared up if they just fucking talk to each other. was very frustrating, and so we were like gelling with Disobey the Duke If You Dare more, because they had like really nice open communication, and they were like, you know, trying, and there was respect and stuff there. But then lately, Disobey the Duke If You Dare has been getting so like annoying for plot reasons. This one plot choice that me and her were both like, I don't know about that. And then started reading season 2 of Under the Oak Tree, and she's like, Sam, are you caught up on Under the Oak Tree yet? And I'm like, no, should I? And she's like, yes, it's actually, dare I say, gotten more interesting than Disobey the Duke again. And I'm like, okay, let me go binge it. And then I binged it, and I was like, are they actually communicating? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, are we having a healthy like couple fight that we needed for growth? And she's like, I know. And I'm like, are we about to have a battle couple? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm here for. So
Nice. I've only read a few of the first chapters of Under the Oak Tree.
Well, I can see why one would discontinue reading it at any point. But season 2, it's where it's at. Alice got 217 words that sprint. Awesome. The only reason I'm okay with the miscommunication is because of the past trauma of Maxie and him, because he's a... No, I'm not. I'm not forgiving it. They are fucking adults. It took far too long for them to have any conversation. This is fiction. I don't be understandable when you. Ugh. I have a low bar for enjoyment. A couple of my friends would even say my bar for enjoying something is subterranean, right? So if I start getting frustrated at a romance plotline, there are problems, right? Like, no, I am one of the most forgiving romance readers in existence. And I'm like, no, it's just, it is a fault of the writers, because it just keeps going in the same circle over and over and over. And I'm like, no, this is too much. It is too long. Fix it. And in season 2, it's finally fixed. So, I mean, like, to be clear, it's not like one conversation fix everything, but like they're having actual conversation. I think part of the problem was in season 1, there is a point when they start opening up with each other, and I'm like, oh, is this where we're going to turn? But then like they backpedal, and I'm like, this is not 2 steps back, 1 step forward. This was like 8 leaps back, no inches forward in relationship development. I was judged. Yes, Roy, I'm sorry. All right.
Am I frozen or is Sam frozen?
My internet got bad. Do you want to go ahead and do your intro? Oh, sure. You want to say goodnight?
Thingamajiggamabob.
Yeah.
I'm Laura Nettles. I have a horror collection out called Tiny Shivers, and 4, soon to be 5, contemporary romances out under a pen name. And yeah, I will be around. I'll be on Nia the Vixen of Fiction stream tomorrow, and then JC's on Wednesday, and then mine on Thursday, and then Barrett's on Friday, and it's going to be a time. So that's where I'll be.
And I am Writing Moms Smith on Asset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things, as well as we discuss our yays and nays of media on occasion. Wednesday, February 7th. Okay, so it's not this Wednesday. It's next week. February 7th will be my next Whip Wednesday. I hope to see all of y'all there, and I will catch y'all later. Bye.